now! What's up, everybody? My name is Mike Brown, aka ReviewKingMB, and I am here to review because I just got done watching Star Trek Beyond. Yes, this is a 2016 film. I saw it in 3D. It's directed by Justin Lin, and the plot is we see Captain Kirk, once again played by Chris Pine, who's at a little bit of a crossroads in his career. He's feeling every bit of these last 3 years a part of his 5-year mission with his crew, with the Enterprise, out in space. He doesn't know how much longer he wants to do this. His birthday's coming up, and until the Enterprise, his crew, gets blindsided. They get attacked by this alien race, and they all sort of crash land on this alien planet. So they're all trying to figure out what to do, who did this to them, why, and how to stop him and survive. Now, what I think of Star Trek Beyond is I enjoyed this movie. I did. Now, did I love it as much as I love the 2009 movie or even Star Trek Into Darkness? Maybe not. Maybe out of the 3 of the newer movies, it's the weakest. But I don't want to say weakest as if that's a bad thing. It's still a fun, enjoyable movie. Let's talk about Chris Pine as Captain Kirk. I like the arc that Kirk has to go through here. Because if you don't know, I have been watching for the first time and reviewing the original Star Trek movies. So watching how in those films Captain Kirk went through this a lot. He constantly wanted to retire, and he was feeling his age, and knowing that he wasn't going to be able to do this forever. So seeing Chris Pine, seemingly for the first time, go through that was interesting. I enjoyed it. Zachary Quinto as Spock, he goes through a lot of different emotional things in this film, from dealing with his relationship with Uhura, or the nice, touching, great tribute that they give to Leonard Nimoy as the original Spock. Great stuff there. Carl Urban as McCoy. Bones, he has some of the best dialogue, some of the best lines, some of the funniest moments of the whole series, really, but this movie in particular. Zoe Saldana as Uhura. She's great, she's hot, and she gets some nice, badass fight moments. I appreciated that. John Cho as Sulu. A little controversy with his character because this movie shows him as the first ever Star Trek gay male character. And I think that's great, that's cool. Sort of a tribute to George Takei, who played him in the original series, although George doesn't quite think so. He's not happy with this change, which is kind of weird, but he played the character. Maybe he just wants to keep that separate from his personal stuff. Who knows? I don't have a problem with it, though. Simon Pegg as Scotty was fine. Anton Yelchin as Chekhov. I'm sure most of you know about what happened to Anton Yelchin this past year. Tragedy of his passing. So it was hard for me to watch this movie and not think of the fact that he's not with us anymore, and that this is his last performance as this character, or just in movies in general. But I did enjoy him. Idris Elba. Let's talk about Idris Elba as the villain named Krall. Now, I was very much looking forward to Idris Elba and seeing what he was going to bring to this villain, how evil he was going to be, how why would he play this villain, right? That's what I was thinking. And at first, I was still wondering why. I mean, there's so much makeup packed onto him that I thought you were going to lose his performance, or just, I mean, you're limited with all of that makeup and prosthetics on you. He looks great, and sure, he's evil, he's maniacal, he's doing some fucked up things, and then I just kind of accepted it like, okay, we're just not going to get a great villain here. It's just going to be a generic villain, oh well, until we got some interesting stuff with him. Until we revealed some of his backstory and made me go, wow, okay, there's a lot more going here than I realized. I think a second viewing would make me even appreciate him as a villain even more. Now, a character that I really latched on to, a brand new character, is Jala, played by Sofia Boutella, and I just really enjoyed her character. She's this alien that they encounter on this planet sort of a badass, but she has some layers, some dimensions to her. I remember the very first trailer for this movie, everybody kind of freaked out. I mean, some people liked it, but some people hated it. Hated the fact that it just looked like it was too much action. They hated the fact that it looked too much like a Fast and Furious movie that Justin Lin directed many of them. And they hated the Beastie Boys Sabotage song just being all over the trailer. And in some ways I get it. But after watching the movie, I don't have a problem really with any of it. I mean, if you're somebody who thought that Into Darkness, for example, had too much action and just too much craziness going on, then you're going to have the same problem here. There is a lot of action. There is great special effects. I saw it in 3D, and I don't know if you necessarily need to see it in 3D, but it is a lot. It's a spectacle. So many scenes of just like, wow, especially of the Enterprise being attacked. If you don't like the Beastie Boys song being mixed in with Star Trek, then oops, because it's definitely in this movie. And there might be a moment with their usage of said song that you're either going to be with this movie or you're just going to turn your back on it. But I was with it. The only reason why I say that I didn't like quite love it is because you can tell, since Simon Pegg co-wrote this movie, there's a lot more humor here. There's a lot more jokes. And I think for the most part it works, but there were some jokes that didn't really work for me, especially like the first half. I was struggling with all of the jokes here and just me not really reacting to it. But then there did come a point where I went along for the ride. I was having more fun. I found myself laughing more. It just took a little while to get there. So all in all, still a fun movie, still an enjoyable movie. Maybe the weakest out of the trilogy, but still, I'm going to give this movie a pretty high matinee. I could go full price, I almost want to, but I have just little tiny nitpicks here and there that might only be a hang-up for me. It's still something that I would recommend to see in the theater, especially if you're a Star Trek fan. So guys, let me know in the comments below if you also saw Star Trek Beyond. What do you think of it? Thanks for watching. Like, comment, subscribe. Later!